All right. Hello, it's Danny here. We are back with week 2, and it is God remains faithful. God always remains faithful, doesn't he? So we're going to jump right into that. We are going to study in Genesis 6 through 7. We'll kind of jump around in 6. So make sure you've actually read chapter 6, or we'll go and read it after. All right. So hope requires much from us. It requires our affections, our vulnerability, our energy, and even when we give ourselves to it, when we are willing to embrace that in-betweenness of hope, that possibility that things may not work out the way we want it to, or we do so risking that we can sometimes have total, complete heartbreak. It's hard to hope because there's always the possibility of our hope being crushed. We can only imagine that Lamech must have known that feeling as he watched his son Noah grow up, not only experiencing the pain of toil himself, but also living in a world that seemed to be turning ever more towards sin. Noah may have been born in hope, but how could hope possibly survive such a sinful world? I know I think about this and feel this way for my own kids and even my grandchild. Genesis tells us that humanity had become so corrupt, so wicked, they entertained only evil continually in their hearts. This was a far cry from the Garden of Eden in Genesis 1 and 2. Things were so bad that Genesis 6:7 tells us that God grieved to his heart. Now, does that mean that God regretted creating humanity? Was he admitting a mistake? No, God does not change his mind. Instead, he was expressing sorrow for what the people had done to themselves. As a parent might express sorrow for a rebellious child, God was sorry that the people chose sin and death instead of a relationship with him. Because why did he create us? He created us for a relationship with him. And we were doing all the wrong things. And I say we because I'm still part of that. There are times that I do all the wrong things. And God is like, man, I'm grieved in my heart to see my child doing that. Knowing the mistake that is down the road, because he can see that big picture. But I can't. I can only see the here and now. And, sometimes I can only see the now. And sometimes I have to remind myself to have hope in Jesus. In response, God said, I will blot out man, whom I have created from the face of the land, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. Just as it seems that all hope is lost, a little word, 3 letters long, is introduced into the narrative, and that little word changes everything. But. B-U-T. It may seem like making too big of a deal over a 3 little letters, but the truth is a coordinating conjunction has never looked so good, because this little word marks a big change in direction. Just as we read God had declared he would wipe out all living things, verse 8 continues. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Now, when we picture Noah, this righteous man who walked with God and was blameless in his generation, it can be easy to imagine a guy who had it all together. But the thing about people who seem too good to be true is that they usually are. And Noah was no exception. Noah stood out among his generation for the simple reason that he walked with God, living according to his will. So while we may be tempted to think Noah's righteousness earned him God's favor, that couldn't be further from the truth. God's favor is never earned. I can't earn it. You can't earn it. Nobody can. It is always a gift of grace. Noah's father, Lamech, died in hope. It's a hard reality and one we'd rather not share, but in Genesis 6 if Genesis 6 teaches us anything, it's that our hope need not be in vain. God is merciful and he is good. And because his love is a condescending love, a love that stoops down to us because we could not possibly reach up to him, we can hold on to hope even in the midst of the harshest circumstances. Lamech would never know the satisfaction of a realized hope, but God would remain faithful. His rest would come. So what are you hoping for today? Are you praying about it? Are you reaching out and talking to God about it? Are you trusting him? Or are you like, I hope this happens, but I'm going to plan for plan B? See, sometimes for me, I'm like, I really hope this will happen, but just in case it doesn't, then I'm going to plan this. But that's not really having faith in our hope, is it? It's not having faith in our God. It's trying to control the situation. We need to remember to have faith, hope, and love. And with that, I leave you today. I'm always here. Reach out if you need anything. If you have thoughts or comments, put them out there. I would love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.